Hey, my name's Robert Beal, and you're about to watch an episode of my podcast, The Bealcast, shot here at Cafe Corazon in the Crossroads. My good friend and mentor, Susanne Andrey, sits down with me and Dulcinea Herrera, owner and CEO of Cafe Corazon here. We talk about a lot of stuff, but she's more than just Cafe Corazon. She's involved in so many different things, we would never be able to cover all of it. But I hope you get a sense of just how gracious and kind of a woman she is. And if you enjoy it, please like, comment, and share.
So you're going to do this in front of us right now?
Yeah, I totally can.
Excellent. I'm excited.
This is the Yerba Mate. I put hibiscus leaf in it too. We call it Jamaica. It's a loose leaf tea. If you've ever seen the World Cup, Messi, he's drinking it with his trophy. He's like, he drinks it before games. So do a lot of Argentinian, Brazilian players. Because it can be a pre-workout too.
Is it a tea? I'm sorry.
Does it have qualities that help athletes?
Oh, yeah. It's very caffeinated, but you don't get a crash like coffee, which is interesting. And it gives you good energy. It can be an aphrodisiac. I have people come in who buy it just for their, just to get it on with their partner.
Good to know.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Because it makes you excited.
Put that in my notes section.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's good for gut health. It's antioxidant. It's better for you than green tea.
Yeah.
So it's like very healthy, but it's also delicious.
Okay.
So basically, what you do is you shake it like this.
Okay.
And then you'll have a little dust, so you just dust that off. This is a bombilla, so it's basically a straw with a filter on the end.
Okay.
And you just kind of make a mountain. Right.
Okay.
Not quite. I mean, if you do, holy crap, you will be like indestructible for days, probably.
Right. Okay, so I won't snort it.
And then you get your water. You can do hot ice, however. You just pour it. And then you sip out of this straw.
I mean, that feels like a lot like tea.
Yeah. It's pretty much like a loose leaf tea.
Okay. I don't know why I was expecting it to be more like a coffee drink.
Interesting. You can. Okay. Some people mix espresso with it. I don't like that, but some people really love it for whatever reason.
And so the ingredients, like what the tea, so obviously, so you said this is from South America. It's a South American drink. And so do you have some sort of connection to South America?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
So
this is a softball.
Yeah, for sure. So Cafe Corazon was built by me and my family.
Yeah.
My mom is Argentinian. My dad is Mexican and Mescalero Apache. So it's really a combination of Latin and indigenous heritage here at the cafe. So this Yerba Mate, I would drink it as a kid with my grandfather who taught me how to paint.
Okay.
So we had just a really close connection. He was like a second dad to me.
Yeah.
So when he died and we opened the cafe, we were like, let's bring it because there's other people who this is very nostalgic for them and they cannot get this anywhere in the U.S. Unless they go to the coastal cities.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's, I don't necessarily know that I'm feeling anything at the moment, but I think I feel like it's.
You will.
Yeah, but I also
takes a little minute.
Okay, yeah, all right. So then we'll take this time while I'm waiting for it to hit me. Okay, so I want to take a minute, and again, thank you, Susanne, for coming out and being a part of this. You were on the first episode that we actually recorded.
Was that the very first?
Yeah, with Rick. Yeah, that was.
Well, I'm happy to be back.
That's the very first one. And so okay, all right. So I have my notes, and so you are a visual solutions designer. You have a business, Art of Board Contract. And what's new in skateboards? Or why don't you explain kind of what it is? What you do a lot of stuff, but
I
this is
do.
the thing
I have two main
fascinated
businesses, and Art of Board really is like a passion business. I recycle broken skateboard decks and turn it into wall tile, and then take the imagery and put it onto ceramic and porcelain tile. And I've sold that to TikTok and Marriott and Google and many, many, many others. It's very cool. It's very bold. It's in your face, kind of loud. But it has to do with skateboarding. And since I saw you last, Robert, I've been to 2 skateboarding events here in Kansas City. And it makes me so happy to go over to Penn Valley. And then we're going to put our name in the hat for the new Buck O'Neill, I think it's called, the bridge. They're going to build a brand new skate park underneath that bridge and have art be a big part of it. And when I came in here, of course, I've been to your restaurant before, but when I came in this morning, I'm usually just leaving with a delicious smoothie. But I sat down this morning to have breakfast, and I looked around, and I really am impressed by the art influence that you just mentioned when you talked about your history. So did you do the 2 paintings? in the main dining area?
Yeah, so I do the 2 paintings in the main, and then if you go here on the side hallway, those are mine too.
Oh.
And typically we have the back room filled with art. We're going to have it in about a week. It's an alternating artist. Every 2 months is someone local. And we don't take a commission or anything. They just, whatever they make, they take. Just
Yeah.
because I know the starving artist.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, and when I was thinking about this episode, Suzanne was a very natural, obvious choice for me to sit down with you because, I mean, you both are just so visual in your focus, and so
And
I
look
would.
how fabulous she looks.
Well,
I know. Well,
When she walked out, I said, "Oh wait."
she's like this ageless beauty. Do you know
She's
what I mean?
gorgeous, yeah.
But the thing
Very
about her is she's like a sledgehammer because I'll be sitting there with I'll be having coffee with her and I'll be talking about like some kind of project or something I'm thinking, and I'll have some sort of like scarcity mindset type statement, and she'll just call me out on it.
Oh, cool.
And it's just
I like that.
and I'll spend the rest of the afternoon and I'll be thinking about it, and then I'll get home and I'll be like, Jessica, I talked to Suzanne and she's like, yeah, she's right. and so she's like this this battle fairy, I guess, is
Battle Fairy,
I
that's a
don't know.
good one.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Okay, so but hold on a second. So Dulce, I have to consult my phone here because this is like where I
Go for it.
have the notes. Okay.
And I want to see your stuff when we're done.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna look you up.
it's really amazing.
That
Yeah.
sounds so cool.
Thanks,
Put it on your
Danny.
face.
Thanks, Danny. Okay.
And the other business I have is for commercial interior design.
Okay.
And we're starting to now use a lot of AI artwork that's really skilled and beautiful. I love surrealistic environment, that kind of artwork anyway.
too.
And so it's like so amazing. I've been working with a designer out of Ibiza, and we just had a 3-hour conversation yesterday to work into art that I'm going to now put into a lot of my commercial development and interior design.
That's so cool. Oh
so
my gosh.
so Suzanne was the first like old person, and I mean that respectfully. The person,
Oh my
first
gosh.
person.
You never tell a woman
No,
that.
no. She knows what I mean, though.
I
the
do.
The first person that's like older than me. Yeah, no, that I do a lot of that. I sort of say stuff and just like hope, man, I hope this hits. But she was the first person that I looked at as like, if I age into that, that's pretty cool. Because I
That's
know
fair.
a lot of people, and they're good people, and
Yes.
I love them, but like they've sort of aged into this thing that I'm just like, that doesn't seem like a good time, But
Right.
but Suzanne seems like a good time.
Yeah,
You're-
I intend to slide into the end zone on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
And I'm not stopping until I get there.
I love
That's my philosophy.
And so you were just in Belize, weren't you?
I spent 3 weeks in Belize. That's my happy spot.
Yeah.
I really love it down there, and I want to spend more and more time down there. Then I came back and spent the 4th of July in Cape Cod.
Okay.
And then I leave tomorrow to go to Salt Lake City. And I don't normally do this much travel, but one of the things that I resonate on, and I'm so happy to meet you, beautiful woman, too, is that, what it takes for us to manage our energy and our desire and how we channel that into achieving what we want.
Yeah.
So when I see people going off track or coming from that mind of,
Yeah.
if they have any scarcity, I'm like, no, rethink that. You don't
Yeah.
really mean to say that, do you? We get into habits of saying the things that hold us back.
For sure.
So it's super fun to be living with a standard that says, nope, no time for that negative thought. Nope. And I'm just going to stay focused on the stuff that is joyful and happy and fun.
I love that. Yeah, words are spells, right?
Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
that's-
Your word is your wand.
So I had like there's
I like
different.
her.
Yeah, I know she's awesome. I have a she slaps.
Yeah, she
Goes
does.
hard. So I have like my notes here, right?
Yeah.
And then I have this thing, but I'm going to consult my notes because you just said something that like goes so easily into it. So there's a lot of projects that you aren't. Okay, let me do this first. Dulce, okay. Co-founder of Cafe Corazon, artist, been on an Emmy nominated show. You're a model, and I mean you look like it. You're an artist, entrepreneur, a philanthropist. In 2021, you were Miss Kansas City Latina, and so why did you agree to just like some random bearded dude and be like, yeah, I'll give you an hour of my time in the middle of a Sunday? Like, why did you do that? You don't have to answer that.
No,
okay?
I'll answer if
So,
you want me
okay,
to.
well, I've set you up. What did you think?
Well, When I met you, I liked your energy,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, that's more important than anything. Like I feel like energy and time are the highest currency, so
Yeah.
I base people on that, not really the other stuff comes second, right? And then
Okay.
also too, you were promoting me. I liked that. You always came in, so you
Yeah.
already knew the brand. And I also like the idea of people seeing a podcast in here being
Yeah.
filmed. They like that. People like to
Yeah.
be around that kind of energy, so it just
Okay.
fit the vibe.
Yeah,
very well.
I'm gonna turn that into a reel. All that works for me. But the other question I have is like, do you sleep?
Right. I know
mean, how
it's
do you
hard
do it?
sometimes. Like right after this, I'm going to finish a painting.
Okay.
But I've been like on go mode. I don't have days off sometimes, which is bad.
Yeah.
I'm once I get done with some things, I take some time off.
Okay.
For sure, because I need to relax my energy. Like you said, if you don't keep like loving
Yeah.
on yourself, you're gonna burn.
Yeah,
out,
absolutely.
so.
Well, okay, so and this is what Suzanne had said, and it brought me into this question. So, is there anything with everything that you're doing? Okay, is there anything that you're not doing right now that you know you should be doing that you know needs your focus or energy? Because you're doing a lot, but
Let's see. I
Great
mean,
question.
That is a good question.
thank you.
I feel like I'm doing everything I need to right now.
Yeah.
But if I had more time, I'd paint more.
Yeah,
Right now, I'm doing a lot of commissions, but they're fun. They're cool, right? But it's more fun to do what you want.
Yeah,
And
it's-
just like let be, let free.
Yeah.
And I would love to just like go off the grid for a little bit
Yeah.
and just to do absolutely nothing.
yeah. Well, nothing counts. What Suzanne?
Yeah,
what about you?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you should be doing that you're not doing?
I need to get my book finished. I've got about 7
Yeah.
chapters. I've got about 3 more to go that I can feel, but I'm also not pressuring myself to do it. I'm old enough and wise enough to know that the only good comes from inspired action,
Yeah.
not just like a bulldog going after it. I don't do that anymore. It just doesn't work for me. So yesterday I printed off all the pages, and I was happy to see that I have like a 3/4 inch stack of paper on my table. That means I have quite a bit of content already. So I think I'm actually keeping up with it pretty good, because I know when I'm off track, and I know with the
Okay.
things that need my attention, and I don't let myself off the hook too much. But when I went down to Belize, I completely unplugged. Thank God I have support in a few
Yeah.
project managers that can like take over for me. We have a call a couple of times a week, and then I got to play and have one of the best trips of my life down there. And I was going to recommend, like, when you do want to paint, it really is good to just go away.
Yeah.
Take your supplies and go to Santa Fe or go to some place that's
It's funny you
Well,
said
you
Santa
got-
Fe because I'm from the mountains,
Oh.
deep in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
yeah. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, you seem the energy there seems like your kind of energy.
Yeah.
But not just from the mountains. I mean, you had like an outbuilding. Like weren't you and your mom kind of raised in a similar set? Or
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So my mom, her story's funny. So she was raised in a hippie commune deep in the mountains of New Mexico.
That's what I'm talking
Very
about.
different lifestyle. So I live deep in the mountains there too. It's so deep in the mountains. It's an hour away from a grocery store. There's 200 of miles of national forest behind our house. So we grew up having firewood to heat our house. We didn't have like electricity like we do here, right? We had an outhouse.
You're not that old. Like that's like in the
Yeah.
90s.
Right, but it's just how we lived there. That's the indigenous way
Yeah.
of living, and it was a blessing. It's funny how, like, the idea that we have of wealth now is freedom. It's the ability to leave
Yeah.
and kind of be like just doing your thing and not having to work hard. That's what it's turned into, and I grew up with that, even though we
Yeah.
didn't have any money.
Yeah.
But yet I'm still now working so hard to make money to go to that, which
Yeah.
is so funny,
That's-
right?
Yeah, it's a oxymoron, right?
Yeah.
But I really appreciate, and I think it's so necessary when you ask me what am I not doing, you know,
Yeah.
to get the book done. The reason it isn't done is I keep hearing more and more stories like that where I want to have a comment about, do you know you could try this? Do you know you could try that? So there's so many different ways to address what we don't address. And if we would do more of it and just say, okay, from now on, I'm not going to just be asleep half the time,
Yeah.
which most people are. They're like, oh, wake up a month and a half later and go, oh yeah, I was going to call that guy,
Yeah.
right? But if you don't pay attention, if you don't stay awake, then it's hard to like really recognize what's, what is missing.
I think you have to. I think if you can get away, like if you can kind of reset into whether it's your passions or just changing your location, a lot of times that allows you. Like, so we just went to Costa Rica, my wife and I, and I have never taken a vacation that I've come back and been recharged. It's always been like super stressful, and the reason mine was great, and I've said this to Zane, is because my wife. She's just like the best to travel with, and like I realized, because traveling is a stressor on relationships, right? And so anyway, but I disconnected, I delegated, which is something that I normally don't do with my business. And so you made the comment about indigenous peoples. So we're in Costa Rica, and I just was kind of overwhelmed by this sense of how, like, if you try to like rush nature, if you try to manipulate nature, it just you just do damage. It's like never as good as like what nature like would have presented you. And in that, when you talk about like indigenous peoples and the situation that you were in when you were living in New Mexico, like I left Costa Rica and I was like, there's enough. Do you know what I mean? Like I have plenty. There's enough. And I don't want to have to feel. I think the skill is to. You don't have to be in these other regions to have that mindset that there's enough, even in the hustle and bustle of Kansas City.
Absolutely.
And that's a spirit. And I think you made a comment on, I think it was the Eye of the Immigrant podcast about how, one thing that you wish more people would understand is like the earth is going to provide, like we have enough. We just have to be kind of respectful of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you should never take more than what you need.
Yeah.
And I feel like the whole reason humans keep making our mistakes is because we keep doing that, right? We want to conquer, we want to take this, we want this mineral to make this. And I think evolution is great, but it doesn't have to be like blood on your hands and killing the earth.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, Suzanne, like, I think we've talked about this before. I mean, you have things are not, we make them more complicated than they need them to be.
Absolutely.
And as I have aged, and not to imply that you've aged, but like I,
you can go ahead.
As I've aged, I feel like I have an awareness of that more than, I was rushing too much when I was younger, which is kind of impressive about you at your age that you have that awareness. I think that is tied possibly to your heritage, like indigenous people, because it's but I mean, are you as stressed as you were 20 years ago?
No, I made a conscious choice to make a big change about 5 years ago when I started. I've always been a metaphysical studier. I have a 1/4 Cherokee Indian in me, so I kind of have that grounded to nature kind of feeling too. And when I don't have it, then I know that I'm out of sync, right? And I too grew up in the Willits, California is like the original hippie commune because they all left Haight-Ashbury when they got run out of San Francisco and they came to our hometown. So it was very much like that. And there was a lot of exposure to, free love, love everybody, be peaceful, like all of that I got exposed to when I was about 7. Yeah. And so I too look back and go, why do we all get so wigged out about what's happening and how fast it's happening? So it's a dangerous slippery slope when you think more is better than enough.
Do you feel like, I mean, with your upbringing with your mother, and she's a fascinating person as well. Like I mean that put in a good word for me, because I think I would love to have a conversation with her as well.
She's very interesting.
So like flamenco dancer, she is. I mean, she's a co-owner, right, of the company as well. I mean, she's lived all over the world. She was in Russia for a period of time.
Yeah,
she
knows like 5 languages. My mom's very smart, and she didn't grow up with generational wealth either. So everything she learned, she just like learned by herself, really. Yeah. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and
so fascinating.
And so listening to her talk, it's so impressive. How do you feel like? I mean, do you feel like? Are you ever concerned that you're going to kind of live up to like the standard that she's had, or are you just like hey, I got, this is me. I'm going to set my own legacy.
Me, I don't even compare. Like, I just think she's a badass woman.
Yeah.
Like, she's a diamond in the rough. Whatever business or anything she looks at, she's gonna dissect it and make it better. She's one of those people, like, and
Yeah.
she doesn't even realize that. I wish she did, because she would be able to like do even so much more.
Yeah.
But she just so smart, so smart.
I love
And
that.
yeah, I love talking to her. She's
Yeah.
cool. She's a cool lady.
And so, then for you, and so I've been to, going to the 3 different cafes, locations, and just kind of like digging in and learn about you and the family. Like, your family's fundamental, like very core to who you are.
Yeah.
I have a slightly different upbringing. I know Suzanne has as well, but it's actually interesting because when I talk to you, not to like lump you guys in a group, you guys are very energetic in a very similar way, but your backgrounds are very different. And I think that, so your heritage, your family, I mean, it's formative for you, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like we I know it's weird to say we all grew up together, if that makes sense. And we
Yeah.
had a lot of like big moments of our lives that we came together, and I'm happy for that. Like, I feel like I'm blessed to have that, because I know not everybody has that, right? But my parents are cool. My dad's super cool too. He has like a really young soul.
Yeah.
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 My
Right on.
dad's like, my mom, I feel like is an old soul.
Yeah, she's like really sharp. I mean, it's just interesting to listen to her talk. But as far as like your upbringing, I know it was like a different scenario, and but
yes.
somehow you can end up in very similar places in terms of mindset.
Yeah, that's true.
I think my own personal belief is that by the time you become an adult, you get to re-choose how you want to live. What do you want out of this life? And that's part of my writing of this book. It's like, why would you just settle for where you've been and not look at where you could go? Like you said, here we are talking about more isn't always better, and yet, like you were saying, your mother could do so much more,
Right.
But she's probably completely happy right where she is, and that's the key, is for each individual to, really get in touch with their own DNA, not how they were affected in childhood, but who do you want to be today? The empowerment of divine intelligence. That's the thing you're talking about when you go into nature and you do your painting and you remove yourself from all influence. Now you're in touch with that creative spirit and that divine intelligence, which will guide you and fill you up from the inside out.
Absolutely.
Instead of most people kind of go, well, I don't have a college degree and I don't have a master's, and there's so many limiting circumstances, but it's all outside you. It's got nothing to do with you unless you give it power.
Absolutely. And I do believe nature is a healer. Like, anytime I'm there and I unplug, I will get messages, I'll meditate. There's always something that comes through, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm in alignment. When I get back, I know exactly what I need to do.
That's such a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do that.
So I realized earlier, I did post a story with these note cards, but like, you guys are setting me up like so well with some of the things that you guys are saying. Okay, so you just talked about meditation, right? Okay, so this is a question for both of you. So when you meditate, or if you daydream about like your goals, like your project, are they epic in scale?
You go first.
Currently, because it changes all the time, right? So I have a new partner in business, and it just went from busy to epic.
Okay.
But epic means I want to set new goals for myself. Like, I would love to design a boutique hotel.
Yeah.
Haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Currently working on a project in Beverly Hills for some exquisite interiors for a restaurant there.
Yeah.
And
she's
so,
like legit, isn't
Yeah,
she? I know.
she's cool. I like listening to you talk.
well, it's so epic is what you decide is epic, right? And
So-
so for me, it is epic because I just took this big, bold step, and now we may be bidding on a project in Ibiza.
Okay, so I'm going to try to reframe this. I've sort of asked this question before with Scott Carroll and Reagan Strayer. Like, when in your head, like in your mind's eye, is it like a production, or is it simply the thing that I'm going to accomplish? Because I romanticize everything. Like, this whole
isn't
thing
that
here has
interesting?
been like this.
Yeah.
Like, I had a sound. Like, I was thinking about like what it was going to be like the day I walked in here with my backpack to set this up, and what the soundtrack would be. Like, I turn everything in, and so I'm curious. Like, so for you, if you have like a project, I mean, is it like, larger than life, or you just like know what it's going to be and just work towards that?
Well, like she said, it changes, right?
Yeah.
But my philosophy on manifesting is, number one, you have to be grateful. You have to, and not just say it. You
Yeah.
gotta really feel it. Like, you gotta say, I'm so grateful for my home, but feel it, right? It's like, all of that. So you first have to be grateful in order to receive.
Yeah.
You can't just ask for things and then expect them to come. And then number two, I do believe it is hard work, but it's also, you have to see it and feel it in your mind's eye, right? It has to play in your mind. But like you said, you felt the playlist when you walked
Yeah.
in here and you were like, this is what it's going to feel like and sound
Yeah.
like. But that's good because then you brought that,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like things change for me all the time, though. Like, I have some really big goals that I'm going to achieve. It's just a matter of time,
Okay.
right? But I do imagine them often. A lot
Yeah.
of times when I'm driving, why, I don't know. Maybe it's just like you're driving and you're...
Yeah.
It
yeah.
sounds bad, okay? I'm watching the
Well,
road. I
No.
promise,
sometimes
but
doing something like driving a familiar route, like it's keeping your body busy in a way that it opens up your
Yeah.
mind. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I
And
get that.
transcendental meditation. That one's very powerful.
Yeah.
So if you really... but you might not manifest what you thought you wanted. The universe might end up telling you, hey, that's actually like...
Yeah.
You gotta
Better.
dig something different.
How do you feel about manifestation?
So I like to call it materialization.
Can I interrupt real quick? Do you pour more water into this?
Yeah.
Because okay, so
You
that's
just keep pouring as
okay.
you sip.
All right.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, back to what I was saying.
So manifestation to me, for me, I don't want to just be stuck in the zone of manifestation. I like materialization. If I'm going to spend my time to create, which is what we do, and any creative process, like when you start a painting in a white canvas, you create and adjust, create and adjust. Too much blue, the blue's too dark. I need to lighten the, So it's really a beautiful process that you fall in love with if you let it be. That you're going to have, it'll be to create something and then pivot and adjust it and then create something. And if you can let that process play out, then you often end up with a result way better than you even thought it would be. It's happened to me so many times. But in the back of my mind, to answer your question, I'm always seeing it. Like this morning in my meditation, I said, what does the cover of the book look like? Like I can't figure out what I want to call the book and the podcast, but I'm envisioning it, and I know it's mostly white, and it's got a strong but elegant blue foil wording. That's as far as I got, but I was looking for the word, but I didn't get the word. I got a visual instead.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. I, too, wake up every single day, look out my condo window in downtown KC at all the beautiful buildings, and I'm so happy to be living here. I'm so happy to be healthy. I'm so grateful for, many, many things.
Yeah.
It starts with gratefulness, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought this is recent, last 45 days. I mean, and my wife, who I think I saw walk through here a little ago, talked about like manifestation before, and I, most of the time if somebody was like manifestation, I was like, okay, kook. Like I just literally just was like, whatever, man. Okay, manifestation.
Nothing like a convert, we say,
Yeah,
Robert.
and so
Right?
then like, I do a lot. I mean, I post a ton of stuff on social media, right? And so I post like a coffee post or whatever, and I just started having people be like, hey man, what coffee shop you at? And like people responding to these things that I was doing. And then I just sort of realized I kind of like manifested like this, now it's what I do. It's just how I spend my day. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that, but it's sort of like almost kind of manifested this character, this brand. And so now I'm like, maybe there's something to manifestation.
Well, of course.
But you have to like, the difference between all of this stuff is the people that are actually taking the actionable steps, right? I mean, that's you're not going to manifest anything if you're not actually moving forward, right?
For sure.
Well, can I object for one moment?
You can do whatever you want.
See, everything that's in your life currently, of course you created. Your thoughts create exactly what is in front of you now. And it didn't just start since you started the podcast. Everything in your life is what you create.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do it, who did?
No, you're absolutely right. And so let me ask you. I mean, how do you feel like that's the case? Do you see that around you in your day-to-day life? That like you're creating your reality?
For sure, for better, for worse. Like sometimes we'll have bad thoughts, right? Or like we'll be sad, or we'll think like a worry or whatever it may be. And it will come to life if you constantly focus on it, for better, for worse.
Yeah.
And that's for everyone, you know. It's not even just like, ooh, manifestation, hoo-ha.
Yeah.
It's energy. We're all energy.
Yeah.
So we're just connecting each other and connecting like energies. We're just like molecules living in space.
I think that one thing that, so every generation will sort of like look at a younger generation and be like, those heckin' kids, sorry, we'll fix that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're lazy, they're this, they're that, you know, whatever, you know. And so, because and the reason I bring that up is because I remember hearing people say that about me. I work with a lot of like Gen Z and younger people, and like I hear people kind of making that assumption, but then the reality of what is happening is completely different. And I mean, I know a number of people much younger than me that are like very successful, and I'm not saying successful in the sense that like they got like a lot of money, like they have like they're doing the thing that they want to do. And so I think there's some power that younger people have that maybe people my age, like you watched us like try to like beat our head into an existence that didn't really exist. And it seems like you hold space for like yourself and like more grace for yourself and value your time. Whereas I'm a brick in the wall and I'm just going to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, every generation's very different. And
Yeah.
there's some things even about my generation I'll get annoyed at, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like your generations are like much more, like you said, harder working. I do believe that. And I know that also because, like, you know, we hire people, things
Right.
like that. We can see that. But there is also a really cool thing about my generation is they're very open to everybody.
Yeah.
And they're like about love and like acceptance. And I think that that's what the world needs, actually. So what the next generation will be, I have no idea, though. With phones, I am kind of nervous. I really don't know what's to come with that. But
Yeah. You got anything to add to that? Because
None of us knows what's next, but I had this conversation recently with someone about you can dictate what will be by what every individual begins to lead their lives, how they become, because individual accountability starts first.
Yeah.
Society in general follows suit with what one individual, 8 individuals, 16 individuals, you know, they kind of join consensus, but it all goes right back to that individual's actions that they take every day, the choices that they make.
Yeah.
So if you make a choice to be a loving, kind person, which I do way more now than when I was a badass businesswoman in Boston in the 90s, right? Completely different than I used to be.
Yeah.
And the reason I am is because I see that that is no longer necessary. But it was then, and I had to adapt to that. Boston's only a second behind New York, and it was get out there and have to make it happen. As a single mother, I was like, I have to win. Somehow I have to win.
Yeah.
But every generation that you go through in your own personal life, you get to assess and make new decision. Every week, literally.
Yeah, and so
like that.
so how do you view? She made the comment like to win. Like how do you feel like you win, like in your endeavors? And
yeah.
I like that word, by the way, endeavor. I feel like I use it in every episode.
Endeavor, darling. So for me, I mean, it might change, right?
Yeah.
But at least for right now, how I feel is I am going to be a multimillionaire, and my relationship with money is extremely different than like, this is mine, blah, blah, blah. It's more, the more money I have, the more people I can help.
Yeah.
The more I can help my family, the more we can just sit back and do as we please and have that freedom to travel as we want, do as we want. For me, that's winning, but real winning is like peace.
Yeah.
Because the peace effort is my family, right? Being at peace, they're taken care of. I'm taken care of. If we want to be in nature, we can. If we want to go to a city, we can. Like, I just want as much freedom in my family as possible. And I think that probably comes from my family growing up. We didn't have much. So we were always struggling, right? Like, even the cafes opening, this was really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like, all of these tables, even the one we're sitting at, my dad built. So, like, everything in here wasn't just even, like, we went to buy it. We had to make something out of it.
Didn't you have to, like,
didn't
didn't you physically, like, have to rebuild the Westport episode, like, locations? I said episode, but, like, somebody, like, you got it because somebody crashed into it, right?
Yeah, so we went to so many spots. We'd show our business plan. We were very organized, good credit. But people would just hear Latin coffee shop, and they were like, they get, like, scared.
Yeah.
and it took us so long to find it. But finally, one day, a car had driven through our Westport location,
Yeah.
and it was completely demolished. And my dad walked in there. He saw the owner, and he's like, "I will fix that for you if you let me rent it." And so then, that's how
Yeah.
Cafe Corazon was born.
Yeah.
It was a manifestation, but it was also, like you said, we had to go out, right, and look for it. And my
Yeah.
dad had to have the cajones to go in there and say, "Hey, like,
Yeah.
I can build this," you know?
I think it's great. And so I went into that location last week because, I wanted to be prepared, right? I didn't want to be surprised by anything when we sat down. And so I went into that location. I'd never been to that location. And the back porch, patio area is like, now is like 105 degrees. So like, give me like another 60 days and I'll be out there like on a regular basis. But I think it's really interesting how each of the spaces are very like kind of unique. Obviously the art, like the food, it all ties it together. But I think that the fact that like the universe had to have somebody like smash their car into that building to like get that going, I think that's beautiful. But then you wonder like, what did the universe have in store for the guy that smashed the car in the building? Like, how did it redirect him? So, okay, so I got a couple other questions that another question I wanted to ask for you. So, ask of you. And so you go out and you come up with a project, you have something that you want to do, okay? You have an expectation of what that project's gonna be or what it's gonna be like when you're done with it. And so for me, I have found that if my expectation is 100%, if I come in at 80%, everybody thinks I came in at 110%. And so do you ever feel like your expectations, like do you see that manifest where your expectations are here, maybe you come in here, but everybody else thinks you came up there? And so what does that say about like your mindset and how you like go into a project?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I try to go 100 in the things I really like, want to do. But I don't know. There's moments where I'll be honest, I'll look at myself and I'm really proud of the things I've done, but I'm like, I know I can do better.
Yeah.
Like, I know that there's more for me. I just haven't made the right connection or something hasn't quite clicked yet. So sometimes I'm a bad critic of myself, I'll be honest. I am sometimes like, this isn't good enough.
Yeah, that's that's the human condition. But and I mean, do you still experience that, or have you reached a point of clarity and actualization, where you just have constant grace for yourself, or do you just like nail it every time?
No, I don't. I don't think anybody nails it every time, but I think it starts way before the actual outcome that you're producing. Like when you were just describing about what happened to the Westport location, and the thing that my intuitive sense was telling me was that gave your father the opportunity to be a foundational part of the coffee shop.
Yeah.
It wasn't just going to be you and your mom. He was now building, sacrificing, putting his sweat equity in. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
like, I think there's some part of him that probably feels great that happened.
Yeah,
So it isn't always, even it might on the surface, it might be described as a bad event. But in reality, what came out of it was probably his level of pride. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It's true.
so it really gave him an opportunity to have a completely different experience. I would say that I had to stop telling everybody what all my plans were because many people are not happy for you. And what happens really is that it takes away from my strength. Like I know with conviction now, and that's the thing you have to practice. You have to practice what is your conviction. As soon as it feels artificial or false, stop.
Yeah.
Because now it's not yours anymore. Now it's something that you're putting on yourself because society says do it this way or whatever. If you can stay in the zone of just being connected to the truth of you, then everything goes, like I call it the magic carpet ride.
So do you know, you've heard the phrase, I'm sorry.
No, I said I just like that.
Oh, so you've heard the phrase like move in silence, right?
Yes.
You know, and I have such a
definitely.
hard time with that because I chase affirmation so much that like it's really I'm like I got a good idea. And I talk to my boss all the time and I'm like every idea I have is good for 48 hours, right? I need to kind of like but there is something to just having like being steadfast in your own desires and like what your vision is.
And not only that, but if I could add something else, like I'm coaching a young woman in business now, and I'm saying to her, if you let your vision get squirrely on you, then you don't stand a chance if you tell other people. Then you're even more fragile in your acknowledgement of it, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you hold it as sacred to yourself long enough so you can, just long enough, Robert, you don't have to do it for a month, but even if you kept something to yourself, that excitement, it's a discipline. And so then I learned how to do that maybe 10 years ago, but it was 10 years too late too.
Yeah.
But what happened was I
But you
started
learned
to
it.
be, oh, it's so cool. I'm always talking to you about this stuff, and it would be, it's so cool when you finally get to the stage where you can hold your excitement within and own it and savor it and imagine it. Both imagine it as, oh, that'll never happen, just briefly, and then, oh my God, what if it did happen?
Yeah.
What if it all worked out the way I want it to? And that space right there helps you get clear on it. And then, as Dulce said earlier, then you own the feeling of it. You've got to feel it, not just say it.
Yeah.
That the power really comes from that internal, your own divine intelligence.
She's like doesn't, like when she talks, doesn't she seem like she's like 100 feet tall?
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
She's channeling
Yeah,
the
yeah.
universe's
Yeah,
language
it's-
through her.
It's
Okay.
really, it
And
really
her
is.
knowledge, too.
It's this everything I've
Yeah.
studied all these years, and I'm so grateful for Robert connecting with me when he did at concert, because that was just somebody else that really understood what I have to say, and it's really all about like, go.
I was just trying to get her to
encourage.
refinance a loan, but turns out like that's not in the car. So I've got some questions for you. Just a couple quick things I wanted to go through here before we wrap up. Okay, so if you could only do one forever, like one had to be eliminated, and this is tough because I know it doesn't have to be, but I want you to try and answer this.
Mm-hmm.
Would you give up singing or would you give up dancing? If you had to give one up.
Probably singing for me because, yeah, nobody like a dying hyena.
What? What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Because I sound like crazy.
Oh, okay.
Her voice is
okay.
not
I'm talking
good.
about your quality
I mean,
voice.
it's
Yeah.
all right. Maybe I'm weird, but to dance, I feel like I get to move, and I just love to dance. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't give up my.
Same
dancing.
here.
Same there?
I have to dance.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're all on the same page. I'm the same way. I'm the same. I love to dance, and you know, I'd sang like growing up and all that. But like, if there's music, I can sing on the inside. But if there's silence, that's like a darker thing to have to kind of deal with. So anyway, so we don't need to go into that, but we're all on the same page. Okay, so are you proud of who you are, or are you proud of who you're going to be? Or are you both? I feel now that I asked this question, it's kind of like I know exactly how you guys answer.
For me, both.
Yeah,
For me, both. Yeah.
yeah.
I would say I'm my son sends me texts all the time, and it just warms my heart. He says, I'm so very proud of you, right?
Yeah.
And so when he says that, it reminds me just how much I've done and what I have to be proud of. But my constant state of being is that the next flowering opportunity that I want to feed and make grow, that's where the excitement lives.
Yeah.
What's behind me isn't all that exciting. It's like, okay, I did that already. Now I want to keep, like I said, two wheels flying into the end. You know, it's like I just want to keep going, trying new things and doing new things
Yeah.
until I can't anymore.
I think I'm proud of who I am, you know, but I've just over the last few years, so much has changed for me. Like in all the, like everything I just put my heart into seems to work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not, and you made a comment earlier, not the way I expect it to, but it just tends to kind of work out. And so I would lean towards the proud of what I'm becoming. But you know, I mean, if you don't buy into the fact that time is linear, then I'm already there. So anyway, so last question here for you: street tacos or barbecue?
Street tacos for me.
Street tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I get it, right? Because I'm asking that question, you know, but I think that Kansas City has the best barbecue. Hands down, it's got the best barbecue. But my hit rate with barbecue is not as good as the street tacos. Like I can go to a dozen street taco places and I'm going to have like 10 great tacos. I can go to a dozen barbecue places and I'm going to have like 6 good. You know what I'm saying?
fair.
So yeah, so I think street tacos. Okay, so what else we got going? So you had the collaboration with Christopher Elba with
Yes.
the chocolate. So how's that?
Yeah.
How's that going?
That one's cool. That one I'm happy about because I feel like we're two Casey staples.
Yeah.
And we're very different, but we're both ethically sourced. So like all of our coffee is ethically sourced, all of their chocolate is.
Yeah.
And then we combined it. I did the packaging in the front, so I made it, and then all of the chocolates are based on our most popular lattes. So that's really cool
Yeah.
because then you can try it and you're like, oh, I've had that before, and
Yeah.
it's fun.
I think there's a synergy that comes from collaboration, and with that, I am Robert Veal. You've watched an episode of the Veal Cast in Cafe Corazon.
Hey.
I have had the impressive Dulcinea Herrera. I have had Susan Andrey, and if you know somebody who is, probably not as impressive as these two, but an interesting character, and maybe has like an interesting space that would like to be a part of that, we'd love to hear about it. Like, comment, share, do all that stuff, and we are out.